Hey everybody, how you doing? It's Uncle Dan here. I am curious as to what everybody's doing to get from one day to the next. Now I know what I'm doing, or I should say I know what I'm trying to do. So I have work. I'm working from home. A lot of it's on my phone. A lot of it's on video. It's really interesting, and it has helped me to learn some new discoveries about myself as far as communication goes and how that works for me. But even with work, even with knowing that 9 o'clock in the morning I have to be at my desk at my computer ready to work, and then 5 o'clock I'm done. I have to be solid with those boundaries because otherwise I'd just be sitting at my desk all night working, and that's not healthy for anybody, especially me. So with the exception of having those bookends, that's all I have to measure days by. I did fall into this really, really bad habit of going to bed super late and sleeping super late because I don't have to shower every day. And I fell into this kind of rhythm of going to bed super late, waking up between 7:30 and 8:30, and just coming in my office and starting work. It's better now that we're doing video. Now that I'm doing video with some of my clients, it's easier because I know people are going to see me. So now I have to be a little bit more proactive with my hygiene, right? So it makes it easier for me to want to take a shower in the morning, so on and so forth, get dressed, right? I am wearing sweats, but at least I'm wearing something kind of looking professional on the top, right? So there's not been a lot to really distinguish between the days, and I'm curious what everybody else is doing. Now, I have some folks that I talk to on a regular basis that tell me they're trying to maintain their usual schedules, right? Their usual routines, with the exception of being able to really go out and do anything. Whether they exercise, whether they meditate, whatever it might be, trying to maintain going to bed at the same time, waking up at the same time, eating meals at the same time, so on and so forth, and then just filling in the empty spaces with stuff to do. And then I have other people that kind of fell into the jive that I fell into, where it's just like, now what? Been on my couch for 3 days. Now what? I've eaten everything in the house. Now what? I'm in my sweatpants. Now what? Right? So I'm curious what everybody else is doing. So if you could, just hit it up in the comments. Let me know what you're doing to get from one day to the next. One of the things that kind of helps me is reading my Bible. I don't do it as much as I would like to. I'm really struggling. I watch Jennifer, and I guess I have a little bit of jealousy when it comes to this, but I watch Jennifer steadfastly every morning get up, grab her coffee, grab her Bible, grab her notebook, grab her computer, and set to studying. And she's got binders full of her Bible study notes. And I struggle just to get up and read the dang thing. I'm hoping that's going to change. I'm going to try and get myself into a jive where every morning I get up and I read it. I'm going to try and video blog it and see what happens from there. I did. I'm taking some steps and getting some stuff that's kind of help it be fun. I guess. I ordered a new Bible with some wider margins so I can write notes, and I can, I got some colored pens and pencils so I can mark my Bible up the way I want to. One of the challenges we run into, and for some of you that study the Bible, I bet you kind of get this, is we can't just use regular highlighters because it bleeds through. It bleeds through the pages, the onion skin pages, I guess it's called. So they make special highlighters for Bibles, and we got some, but I don't like them. I don't like the way they look. I don't like the way I don't like the way they cover. So I think I'm going to experiment with some colored pencils, and maybe just utilizing the different colors for different things, and shading in what I want, circling what I want, boxing what I want, so on and so forth. I think that's going to be a little bit more creative and a little bit more helpful in getting me to kind of want to do that in the mornings. but we seem to be in this stasis, right? I think of like all the sci-fi movies that I've watched with space travel and going into stasis, right? Where well, a lot of them relied on cryogenics, but some of them didn't. Some of them just utilized just plain stasis, whatever technology they used to achieve that. I don't know, because it's a sci-fi movie and not reality. But it feels like we're in stasis, right? Here we are, but we can't do, but we need to do, right? So what do we do? I was struggling with this whole working at home thing and feeling like, there was so much at home I want to get done, so much I need to get done. I'm in quarantine, so I should be doing stuff in the house, but realizing, hey, no, that's work time. So kind of trying to figure that out has been a challenge. I'm not sure. One of the things I looked at was that this being an indication as to what working at home would be like, but I don't think that's a fair assessment because of the circumstances surrounding. If I was working from home professionally on my own as a choice, I would still have access to the outside world. I would have access to my friends and my family. I would have access to going out to eat and socializing and all that stuff that we can't do right now. So, realizing the struggles that I'm experiencing with working at home right now, I don't think is a fair assessment as to what working at home could be, providing these outside outlying factors didn't exist. For example, this virus, right? I think if I was able to continue my social life, continue my social connections, my spiritual connections, my physical connections with people, this probably wouldn't feel as bad as it does. And not that it feels horrible, it really doesn't. It's just disorienting. I think disorienting is a good word. The other thing, too, that I'm looking at is utilizing the knowledge I have of what other people are experiencing when I begin to kind of get stuck up here about what's going on in my life during this quarantine, right? There are a lot of people right now that are hurting. There are a lot of people right now that are sick and alone. I think of my brother who's in the hospital right now, and his family can't be with him. He's there alone. And likewise, his wife, my sister-in-law, is home alone without him. And I want to go to them and I want to be of service to them in any way I can, but I know I can't. And I know their kids want to do the same thing. Lisa and Christina and their families want to be there as well. But we're in a time where we can't, so I know there are people hurting really, really bad right now. And I try to remember them in my prayers, and I'm reminded of, let me, if I can, share a piece of scripture with you that I found earlier. It's Psalm 31, and it's the praise for deliverance from enemies, right? So I look at this as kind of like, this virus is the enemy that we're all facing. Every single one of us are facing this. Nobody is immune to this. Nobody is not subjected to the potentiality of contracting this thing. So it starts off, it says, "In you, O Lord, I seek refuge," right? That's important for me to know that I can seek refuge, I can seek shelter, that I can seek comfort. I've spoken with folks that are atheists, for example, and pardon me. One in particular would say to me all the time, "Dan, how do you know? How do you know? How do you know?" And the truth is, I don't. I can't tell you for certain there's something or someone. What I can tell you is that I have faith, and then that faith is born out of experiences that I've had. I've had experiences in my life that lead me to believe that the faith I have is justified. So in that faith, I take refuge. In that faith, I take comfort. I take shelter. So it says, do not let me ever be put to shame. In your righteousness, deliver me. Incline your ear to me. Rescue me. Be a rock of refuge for me. Right? God, a strong fortress to save me. You are indeed my rock and my fortress, right? That's an assertion, man. That's some powerful stuff that I feel in here, right? And that's what I pray for my family. That's what I pray for the people that are struggling right now. Find that rock. Find that refuge in God. Find that comfort, right? For your name's sake, lead me and guide me. Take me out of the net that is hidden for me. For you are my refuge. There's that assertion again, right? Into your hand I commit my spirit. I belong to you, God. You have redeemed me. You have redeemed me. Oh God. That's just beautiful, right? Well, mic drop. So, I think about that, and I'm reminded of why that's important to me. The world I came from, the life I came from, the misery, the pain that I willingly walked to, right? The loneliness, the emptiness, the fear. Man, that's where I came from. That's what I've been delivered from. That's what I've been redeemed from. My life, even up as recent as 2011, my life was a lot of pain and uncertainty. It's funny because I look at some of my kids now and I think of myself when I was their age, and my wife and I, we did the best we could, and I wouldn't change any of what we've done and what we've been able to do. I am blessed to have the children I have, and that has not escaped me. But I look back and we were just two dogs running on linoleum, man. We were just moving real quick and not getting anywhere. Like the old cartoons when the character starts running and they run in place for like 3 or 4 minutes before they can actually move, right? That was me. Just running in place, man. Trying to get somewhere and just not knowing how. 2010, the end of 2010, 2011, it was June 2011. I was faced with another calamity that I couldn't avoid. And I found myself again in life with everything to live for. No, it was June 2010, not 2011. I found myself in life. No, it would have been 2011. Yeah, it was 2011. Don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. But I found myself in life with everything to live for. Everything anybody could want. I had a nice house, beautiful wife, beautiful kids, 2 cars in the driveway, a dog. I mean, everything you could want. And I felt like I did back in March of 1994. I felt like there was nothing to live for. I felt empty inside. I felt alone. Even though I was surrounded by people that loved me and that I loved, I felt alone, and I felt desperate. And it was through happenstance that I ran into an old friend. And that old friend put me in the direction of other folks that kind of aimed me at God. I had an older friend of mine who I respect, and whose word I listened to, and he recommended that I try and go to church. It's like, yeah, what the hell are you talking about? Go to church? But I said, all right, I'll give it a try, man. I'm desperate. I hurt. I don't want to hurt this way. I don't want my family to hurt this way because of me. So I found a church to go to, and I went, and I made some friends there, and I made some family there, and God pulled me in, and I began to recognize the things that were happening around me as a result of allowing God in my life. So, that's my prayer. That's my prayer for people that are hurting right now, that you would have the faith. That you would have the faith and understanding to know that you're not alone. To know that no matter what happens, it's going to be okay. Like I told my atheist friend when he asked me what happens when you die and you end up in a grave and you're not in heaven like you think. I said, well, it ain't going to matter because I ain't going to know according to that. Right? So, it's just the way it is. But for now, I have faith. I have faith in God, and I have faith in life everlasting. And I have faith that we're all going to come through this. Not all of us are going to live through it, but we're all going to come through it. Anyways, peace.